Yo, Joe, it's time to fire up the engines and hit the battlefield, 80s style. Welcome back to the Playground Chronicles here on the Hodgepodge channel, the show where we dive into your favorite childhood heroes, plastic powerhouses, and all the radical adventures they took on and had with us. Today, we're rolling out with a heavy hitter, cross-country rolling in with his wild ride, the HAVOC. First off, let's meet Cross Country. Debuting in 1986, Cross Country was a G.I. Joe Southern Fried vehicle driver with a love for country music, horsepower, and cruising and crushing cobras. Real name, Robert N. Blaze, or Blias. This good old boy from Greensboro, North Carolina, was a former rig driver who brought big rig energy to the battlefield. With a Confederate belt buckle, yep, different times back then, a rebel yell, and a deep southern drawl, Cross Country was a standout in the G.I. Joe lineup. And maybe one of the most controversial characters of all time in the G.I. Joe world. The voice behind the driver, voiced by Michael McConaughey, a voice acting veteran who's lent his pipes to Transformers, Vampire Hunter D, and countless video games. He brought a confidence, gravelly charm to Cross Country that made him feel like he was always just one yeehaw away from plowing down through any Cobra convoy. Let's introduce the HAVOC. And what a Joe without a ride. Enter the HAVOC, or the Heavy Articulated Vehicle Ordnance Carrier. Thank God they called it the HAVOC. Released the same year as Cross Country because, well, they came together. This beast of a land vehicle looked like it rolled straight out of a sci-fi demolition derby. Designed by G.I. Joe toy wizard Guy Cassidy, the HAVOC is part tank, part mobile base, part what were they thinking? It's green and orange, has twin cannons, and a cockpit that lays face down to where you never see anybody in front of you. You look at a screen. And it really did come with great playability, but used greatly in the G.I. Joe. Let's take a look at the toy. All right, now that we've talked about the HAVOC a little bit and a little bit of Cross Country, we're going to get to Cross Country first. Going to look at the HAVOC. So the reason I always come to this vehicle as a kid is it's my favorite Joe vehicle. I think it is one of the coolest things you could possibly have. It's a tank, it's a transporter, it's an airplane, it's science, it's sci-fi, it's kind of modern, like warfare-ish. I mean, it's really something that could happen. Sorry. On everything. So when you take a look at it, it's got two cannons that move left to right up here in the front. It's got this cannon that will come up on a hinge and be a turret at the top that does move quite well when it's clicked in there nicely, which is a weird and interesting feature. Why is it not clicking in there? There we go. This comes up. It does have the tracks underneath it, does roll, which is neat. This, which is kind of weird, has an engine bay that will hold right there. And then these four missiles that will go with it, they come right on out as such. And then they can go in the sides right here to where the little jet airplane is. And if that has a name, I'm sorry, I don't know it. I always just called it the little plane that's out there. And I've always wanted it because it's like a Sea-Doo for the sky, which is quite cool. So all the orange missiles are out there. Orange and green. You can't get any more veteran-y or combat-y than orange and green, but it is a cool thing because they go together so well. And then all of a sudden this will fold down and this goes out. So this is a hovercraft that is essentially an airplane. A figure goes in. Let me grab a figure. I do have a big bag of stuff here that we got to go through on an upcoming episode. Let's get, he's missing. Let's get Roadblock here maybe. Is he full? Yeah. Roadblock's got all kinds of problems, but at least we got him. So Roadblock will go in as such and be able to fly it. One of the cool things about G.I. Joe, they can all fly, they can all drive. There's no really anybody who can't do anything. So again, has the 2 orange guns on it, which is very, very nice, which is very, very cool. Does have the gray bits for the engine, and it hovers with the bottom fans on it, where it comes in and wham bam, it's ready to go. And then you have the pegs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 G.I. Joe figures can stand on the back of this. Then you have 8, you got 9 with a figure there, 10 and 11 with what comes in the cockpit. So in order to get the cockpit open, this has got to come up a little bit as such, and my cockpit is nicely stuck in there, which is good. And then we get to cross country right here, and he is the pilot of this. But in the cartoons, as we've seen earlier, a lot of people will go with this, and they just lay in there as such, and then he's looking at this monitor face down instead of looking up. He's looking face down at a monitor and driving it and everything else. Like I said, this thing for the G.I. Joe side, for me it's the best vehicle that there was on the G.I. Joe side. I'm sure there are more cooler ones or anything else, but playability and everything else, that thing looks great. Now we come to cross country. Cross country is essentially based around a Civil War guy. He's got a Civil War hat on. There's actually a later version of this that comes with the Confederate flag on his back. I tried to purchase that for this video, but it hasn't come in yet. I'm going to do a separate video on that one because I think it's an interesting topic to see just so many years ago versus what today is. Not that I like it or anything. It's just interesting that a Confederate flag is on the back of a G.I. Joe several years ago, and how the times have changed, I guess. But doesn't match up with the green, which I like. He does have that limeish green, and this is supposed to be a Confederate flag belt buckle. He does come with just kind of, he just looks like a Civil War guy. Definitely does not look like this in the cartoon as we've seen. He's more chunky in this figure, kind of has a more round and fatter face than what the country boy in the cartoons looks like. But not all of them do look like. You could kind of tell how big his head is just compared to other G.I. Joes. He does have a fat head, even with, I know this is a later variant of Firefly, but I mean, they have tremendous big heads going on in this world, to where he even has a helmet in it, and it really looks like they've got the same size stuff going on there. So it's an interesting thing of what this character is, and I'm hoping that's what this video does. But for the toy, it's a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. It's fantastic for me. I think the playability for it is great. There's not a lot of breakable, small moving pieces in this, to where this thing could get a lot of play. And really the only thing is, me as a kid that was lost were these. The tracks that come off, and it's kind of like the hubcaps, because you can see in that there is a working mechanism under there. So it's not like it just deters from it totally. But I did have a lot of HAVOCs in my day that are missing these and missing them. And for some unknown reason, these missiles are always around. I'm not sure if it's because they were orange or what. But, you know, that's cross country. That's G.I. Joe HAVOC. Let's learn some more and watch some more cartoons about him and learn about this character and the comics, the cartoons, and everything else. Thanks. Cross Country also showed up regularly in Marvel's G.I. Joe comic series, making his first appearance in issue 51. He's a regular and backup in missions. He usually was blasting through Krober defenses in the HAVOC and trading one-liners with a Joe with nothing to lose. Was kind of a smart aleck in the comics, which was awesome. His most memorable cartoon moment, probably when he hunted down a bunch of dreadnoughts just to get his cassette collection back. Priorities, man. As with any toy from the back in the days, there was repaints with the Sky HAVOC, which was pleated as gold and plated. I always dug the green one. I always thought it was the best one. Cross Country was seen at the end of these using the I guess, public announcements of wearing a helmet, which is also nice. And if you had the Havoc or Cross Country in collection, hit that like button and let us know in the comments which G.I. Joe vehicle should we feature next, or should we go to the Cobra side? And remember, here at the Playground Chronicles, we don't grow up, we just upgrade our gear. Yo, Joe!
Military discipline? Cross country's putting a tape deck in his HAVOC.
Now don't you fret none, beachhead. This here's fighting music.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, every time I play it, somebody wants to punch me out.
They're funny. Now, if I was in charge, but you are.